just finished my long night shift at the downtown office. It was late, and I was really tired and eager to get home. I rushed to the subway station, but I just missed my regular train. Now it was past midnight, and the underground station was almost empty. The air was cool and slightly damp, and there was a faint smell of metal and concrete. The station was dimly lit, with flickering lights creating eerie shadows on the walls. Occasionally, I saw a homeless person huddling in a corner, trying to stay warm. I took a seat on a worn-out bench waiting for the next train. I glanced around, feeling a bit uneasy. The silence was unsettling, broken only by the distant sound of a dripping pipe and the occasional rumble of a train passing on another track. I checked the schedule and saw that the next train wouldn't arrive for another 20 minutes. I sighed and looked around again. The station felt strange at this hour, so empty and quiet. I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. I tried to tell myself I was just tired and that everything was fine. But deep down, I knew I needed to stay alert until my train arrived. As I sat there, waiting for my train, I noticed a man in a station uniform walking towards me. Something about him seemed off. His uniform was slightly dirty and didn't fit him well. His eyes were cold and unsettling, sending a chill down my spine. He walked up to me and offered help, asking if I needed assistance or information about the trains. "No, thank you," I replied, trying to sound polite but feeling uncomfortable. The man didn't leave. Instead, he stayed nearby, watching me with an intense stare. I could feel his eyes on me, and it made my skin crawl. I tried to brush off the interaction, telling myself I was just tired and overreacting. But the unease wouldn't go away. As the minutes passed, I got up and moved to another bench, hoping he would leave me alone. But he followed me, keeping his distance but never taking his eyes off me. His presence became increasingly aggressive and menacing. I checked the schedule again, hoping the train would arrive soon. Every second felt like an eternity. The station seemed to grow darker, and the flickering lights cast eerie shadows around us. The man's gaze never wavered, making me feel really creeped out. I moved again, this time walking towards the end of the platform, hoping to shake him off. But he matched my pace, his footsteps echoing in the empty station. I glanced back and saw him still following me, his cold eyes fixed on me. My anxiety grew and I started to feel trapped. The once familiar station now felt like a dangerous place, and I realized I needed to find a way to stay safe until my train arrived. I could no longer dismiss the feeling that something was terribly wrong. The man was getting closer, and I knew I had to stay alert and be ready for anything. I realized the man was not going to leave me alone. I turned to face him, my voice shaking as I demanded, "Who are you really? Why are you following me?" The man's demeanor changed instantly. The fake friendliness vanished, replaced by open hostility. His eyes narrowed and he lunged at me. I barely dodged his attack, my heart pounding in my chest. I ran down the platform, the station feeling like a maze with dark corners and dead ends. The shadows seemed to close in around me as I searched desperately for a way out or a place to hide. I spotted a maintenance door slightly ajar and slipped inside, hoping to find safety. Instead, I found myself in the dark, narrow tunnels of the subway system. The air was damp and musty, and my footsteps echoed off the walls. Behind me, I could hear the man's footsteps getting closer and closer. His presence was like a dark cloud, filling me with dread. Navigating the maze of tunnels, my breath came in short gasps. I stumbled over debris, feeling the sharp pain of cuts and bruises. Rats scurried past me, adding to the sense of horror. The man's taunts echoed through the tunnels, his voice full of malice. "You can't hide forever," he called out, his words sending chills down my spine. Exhausted and desperate, I spotted an emergency phone mounted on the tunnel wall. I picked it up, my hands trembling, but the line was dead. Just then I saw the beam of a flashlight bouncing off the walls. The man was getting closer, his steps slow and deliberate. I grabbed a loose pipe from the ground, my only hope of defending myself. My heart raced as the man appeared, his face twisted in a cruel smile. He lunged at me, and I swung the pipe with all my strength. A struggle ensued, the sound of metal clashing with bone echoing through the tunnels. Somehow I managed to strike him hard enough to make him stagger back. He fell to the ground, temporarily incapacitated. Gasping for breath, I saw my chance to escape. I turned and ran, not daring to look back, knowing I had only a small window of time to get away. My heart pounded in my ears as I sprinted through the tunnels, praying I would find a way out before he recovered. Adrenaline fueled my escape as I sprinted back towards the main platform. I could hear the man groaning behind me, but I didn't dare slow down. My only thought was to get to safety. My legs felt like they could give out at any moment, but I kept pushing myself forward. As I neared the exit, I saw a police patrol walking through the station with a couple of sniffer dogs. Relief washed over me, and I waved frantically, shouting for help. The officers noticed me and hurried over. I glanced back and saw the back of the man as he ran the other way. My body shook with exhaustion and fear. I realized I was preparing for the worst and was stiff with fear. I tried to explain what had happened, my voice trembling. The officers listened carefully, their faces serious as they took in my frantic explanation. They assured me that I was safe now and that they would search the tunnels for the man. Knowing that help had arrived brought some comfort, but I was still shaken by the night's events. The danger was finally over, but the memory of what had happened would stay with me for a long time. Reflecting on the experience later, I learned that there had been a couple of reports of missing people last seen entering the subway around this area late at night. I consider myself very lucky to have escaped my late-night traveling horror. The police never did find the man, and I have no idea where he came from or where he went. All I know is I never take the subway alone at night anymore.